Today is day 149, hiking the Continental Divide Trail and Great Divide Trail combined. I am on the bushwhack descent from the Perseverance High Route. It's very dense in here. I'm just walking in the creek at this point.
Every day to the end seems to bring new luck. Yesterday it was the aurora. Today it was that I heard human voices across the valley when I got up on the ridge this morning. I could make out the faint but undeniable cadence of human laughter. I scanned the valley for any kind of movement, any of the bright, unnatural colors that characterized outdoor gear. And then when I was within sight of the notch that marks the summit of Perseverance, I saw two figures moving around the ridge. At the summit they introduced themselves as Sagi and George. They were hiking section G of the GDT but were going to bail off the high route early to make better time. I had been looking unsuccessfully offline for references to this bailout exit, which was supposedly less bushwhacking than the standard exit, so I decided to join them. I told them my parents were meeting me on the 60-mile Forest Service road that is the exit from the northern terminus of the GDT, but I didn't know how far they can get down the road. It's very bad, said Sagi. Probably they'll be able to do 30 kilometers unless they have a high clearance 4x4 that can handle water bars and washouts and deep ruts. I worried I didn't have enough food to last the extra day of hiking out on the road, but luckily they had plenty and offered me a day's worth of food, which solved my problem and made their packs lighter. We did the ridgeline scramble together and then cut down their creek bailout. It was a very dense bushwhack and I could barely make 1 mile an hour. I went ahead alone because of my lightweight and quick-trying trail runners, it's easier for me to walk in the creek than it is for them in heavy leather boots. I got to know the creek and its patterns very well, where it got deeper and why. I discovered that a creek is very lively and it is never constant. I still had to bushwhack overgrown willow in the creek and sometimes get out into the dense woods to avoid little waterfalls or a deadfall across the water. But this creek drainage was thankfully a very gradual elevation change without many feeder streams. That meant it didn't become a raging creek that channeled into a deep gully. It mostly meandered along at about the same size, current, and depth. I was very relieved to get back to the GDT in the Jack Pine River Valley and be back on a trail, even if the trail was muddy and strewn with deadfall and hard to follow. I wanted to push further because I still have plenty of energy at night with only 12 hours of daylight hiking time, but in the dark I'm forced to go to bed just because I can't see the trail as easily. I'm ready to get this done. I'll be at the terminus in less than 50 miles. See you tomorrow.